every election, even number year election, our member organizations, they get together and kind of decide what are the priorities for the next legislative session. And that's where the speech comes out of. In 2011, we decided to, create a speech that kind of manifests all of the priorities that we come up with. So that is what we're going to do tonight. You probably won't hear all of your pet issues, but you are going to hear some of the really important issues that a lot of our member groups agreed are the top issues. Before we get started, I just want to recognize Progress Now Nevada, who is live streaming this on YouTube. So thank you. I want to recognize our hosts, SEIU Local 1107, and their president, Martin Bassett. We also have some dignitaries here, Assemblywoman Ellen Spiegel. Astrid Korea. I apologize if I did not see everybody. I also want to recognize Gary Peck from Nevada State Education Association as one of a plan member group. Roberta Lang from the Nevada State Democratic Party. Fernando Romero from Hispanics in Politics. I see both Bob Cavazos and Vinny Spottelson from the Office of Harry Reid. And I think I just saw Scott Rutledge from the Office of Dina Titus. Okay, I'm going to introduce our next speaker. He is one of our leaders in the fast food worker movement, and we're really proud of him, and we're happy that he can be here to kick things off. So here is Harold Carnes.
Used to be you can get up there and just start speaking without touching. Good evening. My name is Harold Carnes. I'm 57 years old, and for 19 years I have worked in the fast food industry. You would think that with my experience, I would be making a decent wage. Yet I've toiled for almost 2.5 years here in Las Vegas, working for the RTL Corporation McDonald's for $8.25 an hour and $8.75 an hour, respectively. I worked for Wendy's for almost 18 years and left as a shift supervisor to come to Las Vegas to work in the same field. But because I didn't have a suit and tie on in 112-degree heat, I was denied an interview, which led me to going to work for the RTL Corporation, which I have been at for the last 2.5 years almost. I've worked for this company hard, dedicated, committed. Even with my credentials coming from another company, I still started at the bottom as a crew member and worked my way up to supervisor again. This past December, went on strike. We did so because we're tired of being paid no wages. When I get paid at the end of 2 weeks, I have no money left to pay anything else. I can't afford health care. I can't afford the insurance that the company offered me at 9.5%. I'm committed to my job. I love food service. I have 22 months left, and I'm going to retire because the changes have driven me away from what I love the most, and that is serving people. I decided to join the Fight for 15. I sat out the first fight because, being my dedicated person that I am to the company, I sat out and waited. But I watched my fellow workers go out there and put their life on the line, to put their jobs on the line, their futures, to fight for something that was right, and fight for my coworkers, and I deserve much more than what we're getting right now. We work holidays, we work days that you were home enjoying your families. We're at the store trying to make $1 for them, trying to make their vacation better, trying to put their kids in college, and yet they turn around and give us nothing. I work for $1 billion corporation. They make billions every day. If one person bought one hamburger at $1, they're still going to make $1 billion. End of the week, I'm still not going to make anything. We deserve the right to form a union, to join a union, and not to be intimidated, harassed by our employers in doing so. It's the God-given right. It's every American's right to do so. Unions have been the backbone of this country. They started the middle class. They strengthened the middle class. They helped set the standards for the workers' rights. A union is what we need, really bad. I've been fighting for this and I'm go back a little bit. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in case somebody was wondering about the accent. And even back home in Pittsburgh, we tried to fight for a union back in the late 70s. Didn't work. Early 80s didn't work. 90s, it didn't work. And they got rid of us one by one. Those tried to start a union because the employers didn't want to pay, because we're going to take money out of their pockets. Yet I don't see them on payday struggling to pay their rent. I don't see them telling their kids, you can't have that toy. Oh no, mommy, daddy can't take you on vacation. Half of us don't even know what vacation is. We see other people take it. We see it on TV. The rights that we have right now are somewhat strong, but they're not as strong. And by taking away the leaders that we need in the legislative body of this country hurts us, this little people, okay? The big people, they're well taken care of. They're not worried about tomorrow. We cannot allow these rights to be weakened or worsened, undone. Right now are all minimum wage jobs, and they're done for a reason. If you have a minimum wage job, you only have to pay minimum wage pay, okay? In doing so, I don't have to worry about education or anything because these people aren't smart enough to get a better job. They're wrong. I have an associate degree in corrections administration. I have a degree in medical secretary. The jobs I were offered were in places I didn't want to work. I understand the correction field, but I didn't want to be going to a prison every day and having to serve someone. I'm sorry. I love fast food. I love seeing a smile on your face when you come in and I give you that burger and you walk away. I love coming out wiping that table for you because I want you to sit down and enjoy yourself when you come and eat. When you come to my store, when you leave out, you're going to remember it because I'm going to give you the best. But in return, I'm asking for one thing. I thank you. And for my employer to give me a decent wage. That's all I'm asking. Doing so will help the economy because the money that we get back, we're going to give right back to the community. We're going to put right back into those neighborhoods, into those neighborhood stores. I hope life changes. It has to. America needs to realize that fast food workers, we are strong. We will become a union and we will be one and we will get the wages that we deserve because our fight is a righteous one. A seriously righteous one, backed by you. Thank you. Also tonight, I've been given the privilege to introduce our first speaker who will deliver the 2015 State of the State Address in English. Assemblyman Jason Frierson comes to Nevada from Compton, California on a football scholarship to, forgive you for that though. Okay. I had to think about that for a minute. NR, huh? Guy stole the cannon again. I know. He will tell you a little bit more about his personal story, but it's important to know more about Mr. Frierson and his dedication to justice. As a deputy public defender, he helped Nevadians to navigate the complicated justice system, for which many it seems like an injustice system. And in these days and times, it is very proven to be very true. During the strike, we paid our respects to those people in Ferguson, to New York, and to Cleveland. And tonight, before Mr. Frierson comes on, I would like to say to the people of France, I am deeply heartfelt for your country. I am so sorry that you had to experience that. It was in God's plans to wake us up. I hope we're woke now. He's helped many people to get through the justice system. As a assistant deputy deputy attorney general. Oh, sir, you have many jobs. I need to come work for you. He has prosecuted white collar criminals who have preyed on the most vulnerable Nevadians. He was elected twice as Assemblyman for District 8 in Las Vegas, taking former Speaker Barbara Buckley's seat after she was termed and limited. As chair of the Assembly Judiciary Committee, he has looked out for us all. I needed you last week. We'll talk. We look forward to seeing him return again to his proper place, because this man has ideas. He has a goal, he has a sight, and he's touched. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jason Frierson. I messed that name up.
There we go.
Right.
My heels don't do it.
I think the rocks were holding it,
Yeah.
the weight. There you go. There you go.
Carbon arrow effect.
Good evening. I speak to you as fellow Nevadans, and I'm going to address you that way because I believe that we're in this together. First, I want to congratulate those who have been elected to serve our great state during the upcoming legislative session. While I'm at it, I want to acknowledge Assemblyman Tyrone Thompson, who's here, as well as Senator Reuben Kewen. Appreciate your coming. With so much at stake, I want to first take a moment to urge our elected officials to treat your newfound responsibilities with the dignity and respect that it deserves. We must decide together what kind of state we want to build. We have to first address that question by addressing our education system first. I know from very personal experience that education is the key to opportunity and building a state where all can thrive. My parents raised my brother and I in a 918 square foot home in a tough neighborhood in Compton, California. I came to Nevada on a college scholarship, escaping the cycle of poverty because I had dedicated parents, dedicated teachers, and an inner drive to succeed. As most of you know, I'm now a father of 2 small children, and I want to ensure that they're raised in a state where we put our money where our mouth is, and we truly improve the lives of young people to give them every chance to succeed. I'm enthusiastic about Governor Brian Sandoval's interest, as well as former Speaker Marilyn Kirkpatrick's interest in revisit, and in particular, education funding. All of us, Senate and the Assembly, Democrats and Republicans, the executive branch, progressives, and the business community must come together to build a prosperous state where kids have the opportunity to achieve their full potential. Research shows that a high quality education increases the earnings of individuals and the economic health of their communities. But achieving that goal requires new revenue. Sadly, the prospect of accomplishing this drastically changed on November 4th, when less than half of us showed up to vote. And the result was electing a new wave of legislators who repeat empty rhetoric saying more money isn't the answer. We can't continue to proclaim throwing money at the problem isn't the answer when all we've done is cut funding and take money away from our kids. This point is clear. We must invest more in our children. That'll require raising additional revenues by revamping our broken revenue structure, which is teetering on a two-legged stool of gain. We must add a third leg so that everyone, including big corporations, pay their fair share like they do in 46 other states. I'm reminded that when we're trying to find a balanced approach to raising revenue, we must not do it on the backs of so many of my former constituents who are struggling to make ends meet. There will no doubt be many proposals for new revenue, but we must not do it by putting it on the shoulders of working families. Our failure to adequately invest in our children's future has collateral consequences. Our children start off behind the curve before they even start the first grade. Overcrowded classrooms allow children to fall between the cracks. Outdated textbooks prevent our children from being able to compete. Old classrooms are falling apart, distracting both teachers and students. We increasingly expect our teachers to personally take on the cost of education materials while simultaneously limiting their ability to creatively teach. They're serving not only as teachers, but counselors and often foster parents. They're trying to teach children that have challenges of their own: hunger, language barriers, parents who are working 2 or 3 jobs just to make ends meet, and violence in their neighborhoods. We continue to expect them to overcome this without giving our schools and our communities the resources that they need. Again, I ask, what kind of state do we want to build? Because so many Nevadans stayed home on election day, we elected by default folks who want to take money away from an already inadequately funded public education system. Instead of requiring more of parents with limited resources under the misnomer of school choice, we should be working to make sure that all schools have the tools to properly prepare our children for the real world. Inadequately funding our education system also hurts our ability to attract new businesses to Nevada, which in turn expands opportunities for Nevadans to find good jobs. That's what we all want for Nevada. Businesses want an environment where they can thrive, but part of that calculation involves the quality of the education for their children. While we're expanding opportunities for jobs, we must keep in mind that every Nevadan deserves to earn a living wage. If someone's able to earn a living wage, they're able to contribute to the state's economy and be part of the solution. And with that comes the opportunity for all workers to join or form a union free from intimidation and the ability to collectively bargain. If workers' rights are limited and the majority of jobs we create only pay a poverty wage, our economy will never fully recover. When I first moved to Nevada, I had the privilege of driving around our beautiful state to recruit high school students to go to college. We cannot lose sight of the continued for adults and children to make sure we're being responsible stewards with our limited resources. Overwhelmingly low voter turnout of our base, however, has made it more difficult to ensure that any of this will get addressed in 2015. We must continue to fight so that common sense principles prevail over dysfunction. We can do it if we don't stand silently by while a vocal minority would implement their extreme priorities for our state. We must be a Nevada that rises up together to say enough is enough. Now, I know many of you will agree that the greatest impact that we can have on moving Nevada forward is by to vote. Yet the very people who stayed home in November are now targets of the ideologues who will make it even harder to vote. With no indication of fraud in Nevada, requiring government-issued IDs in order to vote in search of them, decreasing an already abysmal voter turnout rate. You're a citizen, renewed your driver's license. Maybe you have unpaid traffic tickets and you don't want to show up to vote because you're afraid you'll get arrested. Maybe on the day that, on election day. Or maybe you just don't agree that a volunteer poll worker should tell you whether or not you can exercise to vote. We should spend our time expanding people's right to vote and expanding early voting and same-day registration. We should be doing those things in order to make it easier for every Nevadan to be heard. Now, moving forward, we must make sure that our friends, our family members, our base of voters whose lives are on the line never stay home on election day again. I hope you'll stand with me and stand with Nevada. Take your state back by holding your representatives accountable. Let them know that you will not be silenced, that you matter, that our families matter, and that our children matter. Maya Angelou famously states that when you know better, you do better. Let us resolve to do better by working together to create a Nevada where everyone has a chance to succeed. Thank you so much, and God bless. Thank you. Now I get to introduce the person that I know you all really came to see. Ms. Astrid Silva has been involved with Plan since 2010 and is currently the organizing director. Arriving in the United States as a child, Astrid was determined to open the doors that were closed to her because of her immigration status and protect her family from separation. Her work campaigning for immigrants' rights in Nevada has been recognized nationally, most recently by President Obama, who cited her story when he announced the expansion of DACA and the implementation of DAPA. This past November, President Obama was here in Las Vegas to rally support for immigration reform, almost immediately after the executive action was announced. His presence here highlights the importance of immigration reform at this time, particularly in Nevada, where about 8% of residents are undocumented, according to the Pew Research Center. The last few years have seen significant strides in immigration reform, federally and on the local level in the legislature. It is an incumbent upon progressive leaders in Nevada to guard this progress and ensure that our immigrant communities continue to be protected. With all of that, it is my absolute honor to introduce to you your very own Astrid Silva.
I won't touch it. Oops, sorry. Okay, gracias. This is really delicate system. Okay. Y como saben, yo voy a estar traduciendo a las palabras de la Asamblea. Y queremos dar las gracias, sorry, English. And we'd like to give a thanks to, I see Senator Aaron Ford. I saw him. There he is. All right, and I think that's who else snuck in. But felicidades a aquellos que han sido elegidos para servir a nuestro gran estado durante esta próxima sesión legislativa. Con tanto en la línea en Nevada, quiero tomar esta oportunidad para urgirles que traten sus nuevas responsabilidades con la dignidad y respeto que merecen. Debemos decidir juntos el estado que queremos construir. Debemos responder a esta pregunta dirigiéndonos al sistema de educación primero. El asambleísta sabe de experiencia personal que la educación es la llave a la oportunidad y la llave para crear un estado donde todos podemos triunfar. Los padres del asambleísta lo criaron a él y a su hermano en una casa en Compton, California. Él llegó al estado de Nevada gracias a una beca universitaria, ese ciclo de la pobreza, en gran parte por sus padres, madres y más que nada un impulso interno por obtener el éxito. Él ahora es el padre de 2 niños pequeños y quiere asegurarse de que ellos crezcan en un estado donde no solamente se habla de mejorar, sino en realidad se aplican los cambios para mejorar las vidas de nuestra gente joven y darles todas las oportunidades de salir adelante. Él está muy entusiasmado de que el gobernador Sandoval ha expresado interés en revisitar el tema de cómo podemos financiar los servicios estatales, en particular los fondos de la educación de kinder a preparatoria. Todos nosotros, el Senado, la Asamblea, demócratas, republicanos, la rama ejecutiva, progresistas y la comunidad de negocios, tenemos que estar unidos para construir un estado que va a prosperar, donde nuestros hijos tienen la oportunidad de alcanzar su máximo potencial. Estudios han demostrado que una educación de alta calidad aumenta de las personas y más que nada el bienestar económico de sus comunidades. Tristemente, la esperanza de lograr este cambio cambió drásticamente el 4 de noviembre, cuando menos de la mitad de aquellos que tienen el derecho de votar se presentaron a las urnas. El resultado fue que eligieron una ola de nuevos legisladores que suenan como disco quebrado, diciendo, más dinero no es la respuesta. No podemos continuar a proclamar que aventar dinero es el problema, no la respuesta, cuando continuamente hemos cortado los fondos, quitándole ese dinero a los niños. El punto es muy claro. Tenemos que invertir más en nuestros niños. Pero eso va a requerir obtener ingresos adicionales mediante la renovación de nuestro sistema de ingresos que actualmente no sirve para nuestra comunidad. Se tambalea en un banco de 2 patas, con solamente los ingresos de los casinos y de los impuestos de venta. Hay que añadir la tercera pata para que todos, incluyendo las grandes corporaciones, paguen su parte justa, como lo hacen en los otros 46 estados. No podemos dejar de que en la búsqueda de una solución de cómo obtener ingresos para nuestro estado, caiga solo en las espaldas de la comunidad que ya está sufriendo. Apenas están luchando para sobrevivir de quincena a quincena. Habrá sin duda muchas propuestas de cómo obtener más ingresos, pero es muy importante que no debemos hacerlo poniéndolo sobre los hombros de las familias trabajadoras. Nuestra incapacidad para invertir adecuadamente en el futuro de nuestros hijos tiene consecuencias indirectas. Nuestros niños comienzan detrás de la curva antes de que empiecen la primaria. Aulas repletas permiten que los niños caigan en el olvido sin la atención que necesitan. Los libros de texto anticuados impiden que nuestros hijos, no mis hijos, los hijos de la asambleísta, sean capaces de competir. Salones viejos se caen a pedazos, distrayendo no solamente a los maestros, sino a los estudiantes. Cada día esperamos que los maestros asuman personalmente el costo de los materiales educativos. Esto no solamente limita su creatividad, pero les pone encima, no los deja enseñar creativamente. Ellos no están sirviendo solo como maestros, ellos son consejeros y a veces tienen que actuar como segundos padres de estos niños. Los maestros están tratando de educar a niños que a sus cortas edades tienen sus propios desafíos. Muchos tienen hambre, barreras de idioma. A veces sus padres tienen que trabajar 2 y 3 trabajos y muchas veces violencia en sus barrios. Seguimos esperando superar esto sin darle a nuestras escuelas y a nuestras comunidades los recursos que necesitan. Una vez más, me pregunto, ¿qué tipo de Estado es el que queremos construir? Debido a que muchos ciudadanos de Nevada se quedaron en casa el día de elección, elegimos por defecto personas que quieren tomar dinero de un sistema de educación pública que ya es insuficiente. En lugar de que los legisladores exijan más de padres que de por sí tienen recursos limitados bajo la falsa promesa de school choice, deberíamos estar trabajando para asegurarnos de que todas las escuelas tengan las herramientas para preparar adecuadamente a nuestros hijos para el mundo real. Financiar inadecuadamente nuestro sistema de educación también perjudica nuestra capacidad de atraer nuevos negocios a Nevada, que a su vez amplía las oportunidades para poder encontrar un buen trabajo. Trabajos. Eso es lo que todos queremos para Nevada. Las empresas quieren un ambiente en el que pueden prosperar. Y parte de ese cálculo implica la calidad de educación de los niños. Mientras estamos ampliando las oportunidades de empleos, hay que tener en cuenta que cada nevadense merece ganar un salario digno. Cuando todos son capaces de ganar un salario digno, son capaces de contribuir a la economía del Estado y ser parte de la solución. Cuando el asambleísta se mudó a Nevada, tuvo el privilegio de manejar alrededor de nuestro bello estado para reclutar a estudiantes de la preparatoria para ir a la universidad. No podemos perder la vista de la necesidad de seguir protegiendo y preservando las tierras públicas de Nevada. Aunque puede sonar muy bien decir debemos reclamar las tierras públicas de Nevada, que actúa a manos del... Al hacerlo, tendría usted, el que paga impuestos, que pagar millones de dólares para cubrir lo que el gobierno federal está haciendo ahorita mismo. Nuestras tierras públicas son las joyas de nuestro estado y tenemos el deber de pasárselas a nuestros hijos, no de venderlas al mejor postor. Como dijo Thomas Jefferson, la tierra pertenece a los vivos. El aumento de la delincuencia es otra consecuencia indirecta de la falta de recursos para el sistema educativo. Tenemos que hacer más avances para reformar nuestro sistema, para que las personas tengan una segunda oportunidad. Esfuerzos como el movimiento Right on Crime en estados conservadores como es Texas confirman lo que ya sabemos. Los estados pueden ahorrar millones de dólares al centrarse en proteger el público de los criminales peligrosos, pero a la vez crear programas con opciones de rehabilitación para delincuentes no violentos. Sentenciamos no solamente a los adultos, sino a los niños, para asegurarnos de que estamos administrando responsablemente nuestros recursos que ya son limitados. Sorprendentemente, la baja participación electoral de nuestra base, sin embargo, ha hecho esto mucho más difícil garantizar de que esta cuestión será tratada en el 2015. Tenemos que seguir luchando para que principios de sentido común prevalezcan sobre la disfunción. Podemos hacerlo si no estamos parados en silencio mientras que un grupo pequeño lleva a cabo sus prioridades extremas para nuestro estado. Debemos de ser un Nevada que se alza juntos a decir basta. El impacto más grande que podemos tener en mover Nevada adelante es ejerciendo su derecho al voto. Sin embargo, las mismas personas que se quedaron en casa este pasado noviembre son ahora el blanco de ideólogos que quieren hacer aún más difícil ejercer su voto. No ha habido ninguna indicación de fraude en Nevada. Aún así, quieren requerir que usted debe de tener una identificación de gobierno para poder votar. Estos buscando un problema más grande a números que ya están dramáticamente bajos en participación. Tal vez usted es un anciano que nunca renovó su licencia de conducir. O tal vez usted tiene una infracción de tránsito y no la ha pagado y por eso tiene miedo a votar. Tal vez simplemente no está usted de acuerdo en que un trabajador electoral que es un voto debe de impedir que usted ejerza su derecho constitucional al voto. Debemos dedicar nuestro tiempo a ampliar el derecho de votar, de los nevadenses a votar. Deberíamos expandir programas de votación temprana y tener opciones de registrar a votar el día de elecciones, para que todos los ciudadanos de Nevada puedan ser escuchados. Tenemos que asegurarnos de que nuestros amigos, nuestros familiares y nuestra base de votantes, cuyas vidas están en la línea, que ellos jamás se vuelvan a quedar en casa el día de elección. Espero que usted estará alzando su voz conmigo, apoyando a Nevada y reclamando nuestro estado, haciendo que sus representantes les rindan cuentas. Hágale saber que usted ya no callará más en los temas que le importan, que nuestras familias importan, nuestros niños importan. La poeta Maya Angelou dijo en su famosa frase que cuando usted sabe más, lo hace mejor. Hagamos todos, ahorita mismo, la voluntad de saber más y de hacerlo mejor, trabajando juntos para crear un Nevada donde todos tienen la oportunidad de tener éxito. Gracias.
All right. Thank you very much. And just in closing, we just wanted to thank everybody again for coming. You're the reason that we are going to win. One of the other reasons is because we never give up. For the people in this room, for the kids that are here, for the people in our communities, we never, ever, ever give up. And that's why eventually we will win. And I would just, in closing, would also direct your attention to the flyers on your chairs. The Progress Now Nevada is having the first ever Progressive Summit in a couple weeks. Encourage everybody to come out and support that. So conquer, let's work together, and let's win. Thank you very much.
You have the mic still.
I was checking.